Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if it's your first time here. My name is Kiabeth and I like to play with makeup. So today is day infinity of the Corona quarantine, and on top of the fact that I had a meltdown and dyed my hair, I want to play with makeup, so that's what I'm going to do today. I have a bunch of palettes out. As you guys can see, I'm sporting Baby Yoda. So I'm thinking I want to do something like Mandalorian inspired. I'm going to announce right now, you're watching me do it, I'm going to do like a Disney series, a Disney Plus series, kind of just doing an homage look to all of my favorite shows and like movies on Disney Plus, obviously the OGs as well. And so today will be the start of that. I also have some new stuff coming in, which I'll use for the other ones. But don't want to ramble. Show. That's what we're going to do today. You know what I'm saying? Grab a snack, grab a drink, grab a cup of water, grab some whatever. I got my snacks. And let's play with some fucking makeup. Hey guys, so since I'm going to start with my eyes today, just because I was planning to do like a dark look, I'm just going to fill in my eyebrows first. So now that we have had our snacks and our drinks, I am starting with a really light, like orangey yellow color. I used a couple different palettes for this look, and some of them don't really have names for the shades. So I will just link down below the different palettes that I used, but if you have colors that are similar, obviously you can use these. I'm just building that up in my crease as I usually do until I get it nice and to my liking, and then I'll go back in with a more intense color afterwards. And here I am finishing up with the first shade, and then I'm going to go into a slightly more brown shade, again to just kind of intensify the crease. I'm not bringing these shades low or anything like that. I'm just building them up on my crease area to make sure that that area is nice and defined, and it's a little bit, the first color that I used is a little bit of an orange tint to it as well, just to kind of bring out that kind of like metally feel from the Mandalorian armor. It's kind of the vibe I was going for, kind of orangey brown, and that's what you'll see me develop throughout the look. So here I'm grabbing a really vibrant orange shade, and this one I'm going to bring it a little lower, not just going to keep it so high on my crease, and this is kind of like going to be the main color of the outside of the eye. It's one of the orangey shades from my Juvia's Place palette, in case that you're wondering, and it's just really pigmented, so if you have one that's this strong, make sure that you kind of go in slowly and build it up. And then, as usual, just to kind of like open up the eyes more, you'll see me bring the shadow toward the outside of the eye and bringing it upwards, just so that we're not lowering our eyes. In with a more dense compact brush, I'm picking up a matte brown, and this I'm concentrating it just on the lower part of the outside of the eye, just to kind of intensify and bring a lot more depth to that section of the eye, and then we're just going to go in, pack this on, and then slowly blend it out. And now for this lid of the eye, I'm going to be getting a not super condensed, but still flat brush, and I'm picking up a metallic green shade from one of my Juvia's Place palettes, and this I am placing in the outer portion of the lid as well as the center, but I'm not bringing it all the way in. I'm doing this on purpose so I can go ahead and build it up. Once I have this shade on my lid to my liking, I am going to go ahead and pick up a flat, more condensed brush, and I'm picking up a shade called Kia from one of the Juvia's Place palettes, and it's kind of more of a metallic-y teal shade as opposed to very olive or green, just to brighten up the inner portion of the eye and make sure the eye looks nice and open. And then once I place this shade or these two shades on both eyes and blend them together, then I'm gonna go in with kind of like a metallic-y white shade, also from the Juvia's Place palettes, just to, number one, marry them together, and then number two, just to kind of like brighten up the whole lid in general, and that's what you'll see me do right here. Now that the lid is basically done, I'm gonna go ahead and grab a matte olive shade, and I'm just gonna pack this on right at the outside edge of my eye, like the outer V. I'm not winging this out too much. I'm just kind of like packing it on here again, just to kind of bring in some more of those green shades. I'm channeling a little bit more of Yoda, and I still want that orange brown to show, and so you'll see me using a very small brush for this, and I'm not winging it out all the way out. I'm just packing it on the outside of the eye, making sure that the color is visible, and just being very precise with my motions. So this next section actually took 7 minutes, but I've condensed it down to 45 seconds. But I thought if you guys might enjoy watching the struggle that I go through to go ahead and put eyeliner on when I don't do a shadow liner beforehand. Okay, 7 minutes of doing my fucking eyeliner. So now that the eyes are done, I did go ahead and prime my skin with the Tatcha Silk Canvas, same way that I've been priming my face for a couple of my videos now, so I didn't want to bore you guys, but I am just lining the outside perimeter of my face with the shade Ivory, and then I'll use a brush to kind of buff this into the skin, and then I'll go back in a little bit and just put a little bit more of the Too Faced Born This Way around the center of my skin, or of my face, just because I like how the two foundation finishes work together. Before I use the Born This Way, I am going in with a Morphe concealer. This has a slightly pink undertone to it, and so I do have a little bit of like dark circles, so I'm just going to kind of not use this as a highlighting concealer, but really just to try and counteract my dark circles, and then I'll go in and blend out the Born This Way concealer, Born This Way foundation, and then I'll use my brightening concealer on top of this. And the concealer I'm using is the same one I've been using for a while now. It's the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Custard. My concealing or highlighting method has changed a bit. I'm not putting as much under my eye just because I noticed that was giving me a lot of creasing. And just from watching other people, it does something very similar. So I just kind of dot this concealer right where the light hits and kind of reflects naturally, so which are the high points of the eyes, and then I'll just buff it into the skin. And number one, you're putting a lot less product on your face, so there's a lot less buildup, and then number two, it's still giving you the exact same effect. To set the face, I'm going in with the Hourglass Veil Powder, and I'm going to go ahead and set the under eye of my face and just pretty much my entire face, but I do use just a little tiny bit of powder. I have dry skin, or kind of combination skin, but it is pretty dry, so I find that the more powder I put on my face, number one, the more kind of like worn down my skin looks, and then number two, just the more cakey it looks overall. So I'm just going to put a very just light wash of powder to set the face. to bronze the skin, I am still using my Morphe bronzer and just a really big brush. Don't be afraid to bring your bronzer a little bit inwards. Don't bring it up high to under the eye, but you know, bronzing is to warm up the face, kind of make it look sun-kissed. So when you go out and you get like a tan, that bronzes all of your face, right? So this isn't to contour the skin, but it is to just kind of bring some more depth and dimension. And then after, when you're going with your contour, that's what you keep very chiseled to the outside, you know, high points of your jawline, for example, or your cheeks. But bronzing, I like to kind of be a little bit more sparing and just give myself a nice overall warm look. To highlight, I'm actually going into an oldie. I'm using the Nicole Guerrero highlighting palette, and I'm using the white one. I think it's called Forever. I can't find it for the life of me to say the name right now, but I'll put it down in the description box below. And so I'm being very kind of like over the top with my highlight, just because I want this to look really, you know, dramatic and very reflective and kind of spacey. And so I'm going into, like I said, the white one from the Nicole Guerrero palette, and I know I dip into the pinky purplish one too, just to kind of give it even a more radiant effect. Just to enhance the eyes a little tiny bit, I felt like I wanted, like they need a little bit of a pop. I'm going into the Carly Bible palette and I'm picking up the shade OA, which is kind of like a pressed glitter, but it has like some really cool blue and purple reflex. And so I wanted the eye to look a little bit more spacey. So I'm just dotting this over the lid just to give it a little bit of an extra oomph. For the lips, I'm using the Morphe matte lipstick in the shade Tempt, and then I'm dotting Jeffree Star Mannequin on the center, and then I'm going over the both of them with a Pixie gloss with in the shade Sheer Rose, just to kind of give it an extra pop. And then the look is done. I did also put on mascara, but this is the finished look right here. I hope that you guys liked it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.